Okay, check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Recording. We are recording. Hello. Note to self. Buy a dynamic microphone, cause this freaking microphone captures every little sound. I reckon I can't even secretly fart. It's just gonna capture on the microphone. Okay, less is more. Just natural. Okay, I've got notes. Stuff the notes. Okay. Hey everybody, welcome to the Where in the World podcast. I'm your host, Natz Blazin. As you may know, I go by a bunch of different names. Natz, Nathan, Blazin, Natz Nathan Blazin, Natz the Pinoy Rapper, Nate Dog, N-Dog. That's about it. And this is the first of many Where in the World podcasts. And to give you an idea where in the world we are currently in East London. That is my this is my place of residence. This is where I live right now. And it's a Friday. It's about, well, it was 12 o'clock, but this is the third take because I've just been not good at doing this alone, but I must continue because I'm set out to do something. I don't know why I am talking so choppy right now, but wherever in the world you are right now, thanks for tuning in. I promise you it'll get better, but as I take this journey, I'm going to bring you guys with me, and we're going to iron this out and figure it out together. So Where in the World podcast, what is it? Where in the world? Basically, like I said, I live in London. I've been here for about a year and a half, and I love to travel. It's something I never got to do back in Sydney as much as I wanted to. And as most Aussies know, it's because we live far away from everything. The places I should have or could have done, I didn't. I just worked. And I guess probably late around 2015, 16, 17, that's when I decided to start traveling. And I did America once a year. I'd save my leave, work, slave away in the corporate job, and I would go on a 3 to 4 week holiday and just do America. Never been to Europe before. So the first time I did Europe was when I moved to London, and that was in February 2018. Holy shit, wow, time has flown. What is it now? August 2019? So it's about a year and a half. First time I did London, first time I did Europe. And since being here in the 1.5 years I've lived here, I've done about 17 countries. So it's quite a milestone. I think it's well done, pat in the back. I never give myself props, but I think I've done pretty well. And now it's slowed down. And I wanted to do a podcast around, I guess, for people that are curious, like what I once was before moving here, and people that have already done it, people that have lived it. And while it's going to be, a lot of the examples obviously are going to be Australians coming to London, Asian Australian, Filipino Australian, if you want to niche it even more, the podcast is for everyone. If you're just a travel lover, like you love to travel, if you're an expat from another country living in London or living somewhere else, or if you're an Aussie that's thinking of doing the move, I'm here to build a community. I want to have guests. I want to find co-hosts, and I want to inspire and, give you a full picture of the experience, good and bad. A lot of good, a lot of bad. And there's been a lot of bad lately. So I actually wrote notes. The first 2 takes I did the podcast, I was like, I was a robot. I was reading point for point, and it just didn't sound natural. So I'm going to ditch it. I'm going to chuck the book. How dramatic. I wasn't thinking of doing that. I just did that then. And I'm just going to free roam it. Shit, I actually need to get that book back because there is some notes that I wrote that I'll actually need. But don't worry, we're going to keep the show going. So, once again, we're in East London, my apartment. I'm not going to give you the exact address just in case. It's a Friday. It's about 1:11 p.m. This will drop around Monday, I'm hoping. And for those that, well, you would have found the podcast somehow, most likely from my personal account, which is Natz Blazin on Instagram. And here it is right here. Sorry, I've got it. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see my desktop because I'm feeding that now as well. But Natz Blazin is my personal account if you follow me. But anything related to this travel stuff, I've shifted it across to my travel account and I've given it a new name. It is Where in the World Podcast on Instagram. So do check me out there. So there it is. That's me. You can see Where in the World Podcast. I couldn't get Where in the World because someone already has it. If you're the person that has it, I don't have any money, but if you can just give it. Give it to me, man. Just give it. If you're listening to this podcast, you're probably listening on Spotify because I only believe in Spotify. Secondary is Apple Music. Everywhere else, I don't know, whatever. But I will always promote the Spotify link. And I'm actually uploading the podcast on this app that I discovered called Anchor. I actually discovered this first from Casey Neistat. I never shy away to promote that. I am so influenced by that dude. And he's the guy that made me want to vlog. But him and his wife uses Anchor. And it was sort of something that I was thinking of dabbling into a while back. But never got around to it. I was busy doing other things. But Anchor is a great website. I can't vouch for it yet. It's going to be my first time using it. But I do aim to use this simply for the ease. I had to play around with it just last night. Did a real dummy muck around episode. And it's just so easy. If you're thinking of starting a podcast, because me, if you don't know, I'm already part of a podcast with two friends, Raf and Don from Sydney, who I Skype into. They take care of all this stuff. But I do have an idea of the effort and what goes on behind the scenes to put these up, like to get it on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that. Anchor sort of simplifies it in a sense that I upload the episode and it does the distribution for you, which is great. Now, there's this little feature if obviously you can't see it if you're just listening, but if you do check out my Anchor, it's on www.anchor.fm/where in the world. I got that one. No one claimed it. So not Where in the World Podcast, just Where in the World. If you go to my page, you'll see there's a new display picture of me underwater, and there's a little button called Send Voice Message. I haven't tested out this feature yet, but as a bit of fun, before I do decide to use it for a particular segment that I've already thought of, it's in my notes that I chucked on the floor, but just to test out the functionality, I want to put it out there to you guys. If you guys could kindly visit my page, anchor.fm/where in the world, tap that send voice message, state your name, and if you can just take a wild guess, where in the world am I in that picture? It's on my feed, or just check my Instagram that I've already mentioned, Where in the World Podcast. Send it through. I'll play it on the next episode, if anyone does. And I can't give away anything. I got no money. I'm broke. Okay? But it's fun, right? It could be fun. And send me a message. I'll play it. Ask me anything, and I'll answer it on the podcast. There you go. You get some sort of value out of this. So, that is my new socials for this account, if you're interested in following the journey. Okay, so Where in the World Podcast. I feel like I haven't really explained yet. Or I have, but then I get distracted and talk about something else. But Where in the World Podcast is basically going to be me talking shit in different countries. Most of the time it's going to be here in London because I don't have anything booked yet. But it's very spontaneous here. Like, in 2 weeks, I could be somewhere else. It just happens quick. And that's the sort of, these are the sort of things that I want my audience to get familiar with, and to trade stories and to trade tips on how. either for the expat that's already here or someone that's thinking of crossing over. So there'll be a lot of stories from the past and a lot of current happenings and things happening here in London. That's pretty much the gist of it. Like, I know it'll bridge out to more things, to just generally things I like, some news, yada, yada, yada. But that's essentially what this is about. Now, I'm going to go straight. This is a perfect segue just to tell you why. Like, why exactly have I decided to start a podcast? Why, Natz Blazing? Why? You already have a podcast. You already have a YouTube channel. Some of you might know I was already dabbling into making music, which most will know that's my main thing. I'm a rapper. Used to be. I'm not going to stop saying used to be because I'm really getting back into it. And maybe 2-3 weeks ago, I decided to really full swing get back into it. I released my latest mixtape called This Round's On Me. And essentially, it wasn't new. It was old. It's music I made back in 2013. There's a whole interview I did on it on YouTube. So check me out on YouTube /Natz Blazing. I'm not going to talk about it here, but essentially I was in full swing music mode, ready to release. I basically was at the end of wrapping up my vlog. So I started a travel vlog in February as well, just to get into the rhythm of doing. And on the side, I've been doing my podcast with my two mates. So a lot was happening. This was just 2 weeks ago, 2 freaking weeks ago. Right before Norway, everything was in my trusty laptop. I was like, I am headed in the direction. Mind you, nothing is actually out yet. The only stuff I've released is old material and a bunch of promo around it because I wanted to generate a bit of a buzz. In that laptop, I had started a couple new songs, all original. I had the last 2 vlogs for my travel. I did a trip in Rome for a week. My little brother from Sydney, when he was here, we went to Prague together. It was great. It was all polished. It was ready to upload. Life was good. I felt really good. I was like, stars have aligned. I think I'm onto something. I wanted to bank a lot of content because I wanted to keep everything consistent. So there wouldn't be any breaks where I just disappear from the face of the earth, which is usually the case for me. I'll be really active, and then I know I have my downtime when it could be my anxiety. I've got anxiety. That's a whole other can of worms that I don't want to get into. But I have these times where I'm super productive or super gone, like I just disappear. So anyway, I'm at my peak, and I decided to go to a trip to meet my cousin, Bianca. Shout outs to Bianca. She's back in Sydney already. I think she only arrived today. So it's been 2 weeks, pretty long. We decided to meet in Norway. Need to drink some water for this because you're in for a ride. Let me just finish this water. Norway. Why Norway, you ask? Why? I've been to Norway twice. Sorry, 3 times. Twice before this trip. First time I did a hike with a couple of my mates that I met here in London. So it was a bit of a boys' trip. We decided to do Kjeragbolten. I can't pronounce it, but there it is. It's this boulder in between 2 cliffs. Amazing, right? There's me. My mum told me off for that one. I shouldn't have shown her. I'd like to tell you it's not as dangerous as it looks, but it is. Like, you could die. You could potentially die. For those that can't see listening on audio, it's basically 2 cliffs with a little boulder wedged in between, and people stand on that little boulder to take a photo. Worth it. Almost had a heart attack. That was the first time. And that basically started my itch of like, holy shit, man, I want to like do more. I want to keep hiking. By then I've done a few hikes, nothing too crazy. That was the most challenging so far for me. Purely, not because of distance, but purely for the incline and the ups and downs. It was very strenuous to the ankles and legs or whatever. Second time I went to Norway was in Tromsø. So Tromsø, I don't think it's that popular, but I highly recommend it. not many people know about it, I think, but I had a couple of friends that went during Christmas, and just think dog sledding in Christmas, like in the North Pole, that that's a goal, man. That's a vibe, yo. So I didn't go in Christmas. I couldn't afford it. It was too expensive. But we went. Me and the girlfriend. We went. Shout outs to Nadine. She's at work. That's why I'm alone. We went to Tromsø, and probably one of the most expensive trips, I must say. Also expensive. Norway, expensive is an understatement. I think you need to be like made of gold to live there. But Tromsø, amazing. We went dog sledding, and let me show you some pictures if you can see this little dog. Man, I miss this guy. This husky. I picked the ugliest dog. I have a thing for ugly things. It might be like a getting picked on complex. Very self-conscious. I gravitate to things that are either damaged or ugly. And this dog is ugly as shit. It's got a scar in the middle. Look at it. But it was so friendly. It was the most like quiet, kept to itself more. It's been through some shit, you know. That has nothing to do with the story. But anyway, like Tromsø, if you want to do something different, check it out. If that's something you guys want me to talk about, I'll talk about it in more detail. I can't remember. All I remember, it was really expensive. To give you an idea of how expensive, there wasn't much food choice. There wasn't even a McDonald's. I was so upset. So we had to go Hungry Jack's. There was only a Hungry Jack's in this little town of Tromsø. And we ordered just one meal, like a standard meal, right? You get a burger, an ice cream, chips, and a drink, and then an extra burger. Because we're like, you know what? Let's not convert. It's messed up. Everything's so expensive here. I converted anyway, after. Probably not the best thing. But when I did convert, it was converted in Australian dollars. That meal, the one meal with an ice cream and an extra burger and chips, it was $50 AU. Not pounds. If it was pounds, I'd probably be like, I'm done. I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to drink water for the rest of the trip. But $50 AU? Like, come on, Norway. You're killing me. Anyway. That was the second time. Sorry, I went in a bit of a tangent again. Sorry to interrupt. This is a quick announcement from our sponsor. Here's a tip from my friend Vin. If you're in London right now, I don't have a sponsor, but I love to share value. And I like to share wisdom and ways to get by. If you're like me and you're like living or hanging on by a string, I got some tips for you, bro. Inamo in Covent Garden is doing a £12 all-you-can-eat sushi every Thursday and Friday. Get on it real quick. I don't like Japanese, so it doesn't really appeal to me, but I know a lot of people like Japanese. So if you're feeling raw, that was so lame. If you just feel like sushi, just get on it right now, because that's happening. By the time this podcast comes out, it'll be Monday. And then you pretty much only got a couple of days to get on it. So you better listen. Listen close. Brewdog, all you can eat wings. Ooh, that sounds appealing. I'm really hungry. I haven't had breakfast. All you can eat wings on Wednesday. You must book a day before. So guys, once again, this is probably going to release on a Monday, which essentially gives you 1 day. You have a 1 day window to get on it. Unlimited wings, bro. Brewdog, all you can eat. There's a Brewdog everywhere. I know there's a Brewdog in Shoreditch. If anyone's keen on some wings, hit me up as well. Hit me on the DMs, because I'm always down for some chicken. Brewdog. Book a day before. Wednesdays. You have 1 day if you're listening now, unless you go next week. Anyways, back to the show. Okay, sorry, I'm back. I got my notepad. I wanted to have a quick break and get back in. So let's get back straight into it. Norway. Why did I decide to go to Norway? I just told you. Did I? Did I tell you? I can't remember if I already said why, but long story short, I decided to go to Norway again to meet my cousin, Bianca. Shout outs to Bianca. We couldn't find a flight path that was cheap enough, because she was coming from Ireland to X destination to go to then Iceland. That was her. She needed basically somewhere that could go to Iceland cheap. and everywhere else we looked at was bloody expensive. So we decided Norway, let's do Trolltunga. And this has been something that I wanted to do to challenge myself. I really wanted to do a hike that was ridiculously long and somewhere with a pristine view. So Trolltunga, it was on my list. I said, this is a bucket list thing that I'm going to do before I leave London, if I leave next year. All up, if you do the hike properly, it's 13 kilometers there. Take your photos, 13 kilometers back. 26 kilometers in total. Hell yeah. That's what it's about. That's what we're doing. So, I'm going to take you guys to the story of what exactly happened. And I promise you right now, this all ties in. It all ties in. If you're like, I know I said I'm telling you why I'm doing this podcast. I'm telling you now, I had an enlightenment, an awakening. The trip started 2 weeks ago. This time, Friday, 2 weeks ago. That faithful day, I was like, it's amazing. I've got all this ahead of me, all this content that I've created. It's all here in this golden laptop, and I'm in control. Like, nothing has happened yet, mind you. It's just I felt like this is gonna lift me into a rhythm, and that hunger that I've been chasing. Like, I'm finally gonna eat, man. Peeps are gonna recognize. So we go. I meet my cousin Bianca. Shout outs. Meet like nothing's changed. Catch up. Drive to Trolltunga. Do the hike. Amazing. Great. She was sick. She had a flu, so she probably shouldn't have done the hike, but she did anyway. But we did it. You know? Here's some footage. This is the struggle. If you're listening. I'll tell you right now, it was, if I can compare it to the Kjeragbolten, the boulder, purely just due to distance, this was harder. This was the hardest, you know? Like, I can take pain, I love, even with gym, like, just give me weights and I'll push through it, but I don't want to do it for long, you know? I don't want to be at the gym for 5 hours type thing. This shit was a marathon, dude. I remember getting there after 13 kilometers. We got the photos. It was fine, you know? Like, yeah, tick. You don't anticipate that you got to do that shit all over again. You think it'll be quicker. You think, like, I've already done it. It'll be quicker going back. And the worst thing is, while we were doing our photos, because there was only 2 of us doing the photos, we had to take turns. Like, we couldn't both line up and then someone take the photo. Like, it's a very far gap. Like, I wouldn't trust someone with my camera and then we're in line for half an hour. They could just piss off and take our camera. So we took turns, and essentially we were there trying to get our photos for about an hour or 2. And by the time that my cousin she went second. By the time we got her photos done, it was freezing. Like, the winds came up. It was forecast to rain, so Norway was right on time. It just started kind of pouring. Like, the fact that it was so cold, it was already too much. We're like, nah, stuff that. We were planning to eat overlooking the cliff. It would be nice in my minds, like expectation versus reality. No, we were dying, and she was sick. So we're like, nah, we got to go back ASAP. So we started sprinting, like not sprinting, but sort of jogging. Mind you, we'd already done 13 kilometers. Now we're like running back, like jogging or running is going to make a difference. So now we're on the way back to the car. Another 13 Ks, and we're about 2 kilometers deep. So now it's saying 11 kilometers left. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Okay, keep going. Another, like, however much time goes. And now it's like saying 10 kilometers. Keep going. Now it's saying 9. By 8, I think my spirit was broken. I'm like, oh my God, that's still 8 kilometers. 8 kilometers? That's a long time. Some hikes I've done have only been 8 kilometers. And now we're at that point, like, hunger, cold, wet. My cousin's coughing her lungs out. Like, we could potentially die. I exaggerate, but, you know, that's how it felt. But in the end, you know, you push through, you prevail. As humans, we're built to survive. And when we got back to the car, we were like, yes! We rewarded ourselves by going to McDonald's. It was another $50 each. So sad, but so good. So yeah, anyway, that's Trolltunga for you guys. Bit of tips for anyone that's doing it soon. As expected, it's long. That's all I can say. It's messed up. I'd suggest go early. We left at about 6 o'clock. Got to the actual cliff by about 10:30, and it's recommended because if you go before 10, apparently too much mist, or I don't know. So that's what the guide said. But great hike, and check out my Instagram when I upload it. I'll upload it on Where in the World podcast. So I'm getting there. I know I take long with my stories. You know that saying, when it rains, it pours? I think that's the best way to explain the next events that could happen. So I'm so happy I'm vlogging. I'm vlogging this entire thing. I've got all the footage. I'm like, yeah, I'm killing it. You know, I'm doing what I set my mind out to do. I'm making music again. I got a successful podcast with my friends, and I'm gonna get back into music. We're on the train. So from Bergen, that's the city, kind of close to Trolltunga, where we stayed. Now we got a train to Oslo, because we're like, all right, Oslo's, might as well. Part of the trip. Let's go to Oslo. On the train there, sorry, let me backtrack. Before we got the train, we decided to chill out. We parked the car somewhere in the city center, come back, and we got done. There was a little yellow stripe pamphlet. I knew what it was when I saw it. I was like, oh shit, it's a fine, bro. It wasn't too bad. I think it was only like $80. So between us two, it's not too bad. But I was so pissed about it. When things happen, it takes me a while to get over it. So I was just like, just let me process this and it'll be all right. I'm gutted because it's so expensive in Norway already, I know it's money, but times are tough. I was gutted that it happened. But life goes on. I was trying to let go. So we got on the train. We're laughing about it now. No, let me backtrack again. Before we got on the train, we planned so much to make it to the train station. The only issue is we had to drive the car back to the airport and then catch a bus back into the city, because that's where the train was. All right, you with me? So we dropped the car. We had so much time, by the way. We had the train was late in the afternoon. We had so much time, but for some reason, the fine put us off, and then all this other shit happened. We pre-booked bus tickets, but when we returned the car, finally got to the bus terminal, we didn't realize how close we were cutting it already. And the bus that just left, I went to go pee. That was my fault. I went to pee because I had to go to the toilet. We just missed the bus. But apparently they come every 20 minutes. So in my mind, I'm like, it should be fine. We get there and it's like the bus that leaves next doesn't come for 20 minutes. And when it gets to the city, it'll be the time the train leaves. And I'm already cut about the fine. I'm like, nah, that sucks. So we ended up getting a cab. And the cab ended up costing more than the prepaid bus tickets that we paid. So we basically paid for nothing, the bus. We're at this point, we're stuff it. It's done. We catch the train. We buy some ice cream. We're like, you know what? It's part of travel, right? It's part of travel. This shit happens. So we're laughing about it. It's like, what more could get worse? I'm never saying that again. No. It could be worse. That's what we were telling ourselves at the time. And it got worse. It just got, I think I jinxed it. So I feel like I'm never going to say that saying again. It could be worse. Yeah. That's why I don't say it, because it could. Knock on wood. So we get on the train on the way to Oslo. Things all happy and dandy. We get off the train, start walking to our accommodation. I'm Instagramming, I'm vlogging. I'm just like, I'm over it. Whatever, they're fine. Good job, Nathan. You got over it. Suddenly, anxiety. My heart feels like it's been stabbed by the same knife that Arya stuck into the Night King that faithful evening. It burns. It's cold. I realize my laptop is on the train. We're already outside the station, walking to the accommodation. My survival instinct springs into action. I look at my cousin. Bianca, I left my laptop. I gotta go back. I drop her wheelie bag because I was carrying it for her. I was like, go ahead without me. I'm going. I ran back to the station. She followed me because she's a good cousin. So she didn't go to the accommodation. I get back to the station and there's multiple platforms. I can't remember which one it was. I go to one platform. There's no train in this platform. So I decided to go back because I see the trains in the other ones. I was tempted to just cross the rails, but I don't know the rules. If that's a felony, I don't want to go to jail. Like, it could get worse. So I go back around and now I'm just taking guesses. I'm just guessing. Could it be this train? I check one train. It's not there. I check a second train. I remember the inside. It's like coming back to me like, this isn't the one. The tables are different. People are looking at me. I'm frantic right now. I go to a guard. I'm like, sir, please, you need to help me. No, wait, there was a guy talking to him first. So I'm just eagerly waiting, like, hurry up. My shit's more important. He F's off. And then I'm like, sir, train guard. I'm trying to put on this, like, dramatic, like, I'm trying to make it more dramatic, but in my mind it is, but I'm trying to make it look like I'm crying. I'm trying to cry so he cares more because he doesn't look like he gives a shit about life. And I'm like, sir, the laptop that came from, not the laptop, the train that came from Bergen, is it still here? And he's like, no, it's gone, in his Norwegian accent. I don't know how to do a Norwegian accent. So my heart sinks. I'm like, oh no. What happens? Where is it? Is it going back to Bergen? I left my laptop. And he said, no, you have to go lost and found. But lost and found is closed. So now you have to go back tomorrow because it's the weekend. And I was like, that doesn't help me. But where's the actual train? It's like, it's at maintenance. So they maintain the train and they'll probably, whatever's lost, they'll bring it to lost property. So I'm like, okay. What's the number to lost property? And I think at that point I was just annoyed because it was just like, but then I tried to try to make the waterworks happen. Nothing. I can't cry. I couldn't cry, but I was just more anxious than anything. He gave me the number and then I went back up. And then I went to the station to ask, hey lady, I left my laptop at the station. Could you help me? Is there any way that, I know it's at maintenance right now, is there anyone that can go there, or what happens? Does it get sent to this office? And then she said, wait right here. You should be sometimes what happens, the train guard will bring any lost property and they'll bring it to level 5. I'm giving you like so much detail here. Level 5 of the station. Wait here and I'll let you know. Mind you, it's almost like 11 o'clock already. So I'm like, nah, I'm gonna wait here all night. Time goes, and before you know it, it's midnight. And then they've changed shifts, and I go to the new staff. I'm like, hey, is the lady that said she was gonna check my laptop, is there any updates? Because they said like they might bring the stuff, the lost and property. And then she was like, no, she's gone for the day. You have to come back tomorrow. So another stab, another Arya just came out of nowhere again, just another quick jab. And I was like, oh shit. So I was like, you know what, I decided just to like keep it to myself. I'm not gonna tell anyone. I'm just gonna like pretend this isn't happening. I disassociated, went back to the hotel and decided fresh start tomorrow. Now mind you, the rest of this trip, I was not in the moment, dude. So much stuff happened. I know I don't want to keep this story going because I'm gonna take too long, but bad thing after bad thing kept going. The next day, I lost my jacket on the bus. It was like my trusted hiking jacket because I just wasn't thinking. By then, I was just like, I'm over it. I was like, I finally cracked. So my cousin could see. All she could see was a broken man, spirit torn. You know, we look. I don't want to end that trip on a bad note. By that time, I sort of got myself together. Just went back to the hotel. We split a pizza, talked about old times, reminisced, and just had a laugh. And I said, hey, it was really good to see you. I know it wasn't the craziest trip, but I had a good time regardless, you know? Looking at it now, it was a great trip. And it happened the way it did. You can't really do anything about it, right? So, and there was still hope. Like, they said the lost in property were like, yeah, it's still not here. But it can take up to 7 days. So I went back to London. No jacket, no laptop. But I was like, you know what? There's still hope. My girlfriend helped me trying to contact for the week, like every day, calling, emails. Has a laptop come up? Has a laptop come up? And I'll tell you that, like I told you, right? Everything was in that laptop. It wasn't just the laptop. I had 2 hard drives with all my footage from London, from this camera, my main camera, all gone. Until this day, I still haven't heard anything. Fingers crossed that that's for some reason it still comes back, but I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, I'm getting there, trust me. Let's fast forward. 2 weeks later. So I told you this happened about 2 weeks ago. So a week and a half later, which is Monday, last Monday when you watch this. I've come to grips that I'm probably never going to get my laptop back. And I need to keep working, you know? I lost everything already, but I've already got this like drive that I need to keep going. So I'm on Gumtree every day. I bought this laptop, the one that you might be able to see over here. Cost about £700. I needed a laptop, yo. Like, if this is what I want to pursue, this is the tool I need. So I'm happy it was an upgrade. It was like, perfect. I'm back. If the laptop happens to come back, fine. I'll sell it. I didn't care about my laptop, by the way. If you guys think this is because of money, because of material stuff, partly is, but it was the data. It was the work. Prior to Norway, staying up every day, days in, not going to social events and just working and building and creating stuff, all of that, gone. That is what burnt me the most. So I was a mess for a week. But when I finally got this laptop, I came to grips with everything. I was like, I'm good. You know what? Things happen for a reason. It could always be worse. So this happened last Monday, only 4 days ago. I was like, okay. Bought the laptop off the guy from Gumtree. I'm back. Let's pick up the pieces. I decided to go to a cafe because I like to work. Starbucks is my choice. That day started off bad already. I mean, that cafe experience started off bad already. I'm not going to diss Starbucks. It was just this one experience. I still love Starbucks. But the moment I went there, the staff was rude. She gave me my coffee and it was just messy. Like, it's just, spilt everywhere. It was just sloppy. I was like, you're supposed to be in customer service. You're not serving very well. Anyway, whatever. I went upstairs to work. Finally settled in. Let's go. Let's keep going. But mind you, I'm fragile, but I'm motivated again. I was very fragile before, but I'm motivated. I'm like, all right, things that get to me a bit quicker, but I'm dealing with it. Then the staff comes up and says, look, we're closing the top floor. I'm like, I just sat down. Are you serious? Anyways, I went back downstairs, found a set. I was like, all right, no more distractions. Let's do it. Let's get to work. This is about 6 hours after buying the laptop. Now, I'm deep into my work. I'm just doing my thing. I feel a tap on my shoulder. I look back. It's this beggar. She's quite old, and she's got a sign. She's holding a sign. She doesn't speak English, so I didn't read the sign. Something about I need money or whatever. She kept. I said, politely. I said, I'm sorry. I don't have any money on me right now, and I proceeded back to working. I feel another tap. She keeps tapping me, and I'm like, sorry, you probably don't understand, but I have no money. I'm trying to be a bit more firm now. Now she puts the sign over my laptop, and I'm like, all right, bitch. No, I wasn't like that. But I was like, I literally said, hey, fuck. I don't have any fucking money. I started swearing. Sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I'm trying not to swear anymore. But I swore, and I was like, look, that's not cool. You can be a beggar. It's like that. I don't know what situation got you there. I'm sorry, but just, I don't have any money. And then she finally leaves. My phone. This isn't my phone. This is my iPhone 6. If you're seeing the video, I had an iPhone 10, the newest one when it first came out. I bought it with my cold hard cash before I left Sydney as a present to myself. Here you go, Natz, capture your adventures. I had it next to my laptop. When she put the sign over my laptop, she took the phone, bro. She took it. She wasn't a beggar. She was a gypsy, a thief. Now, you're probably laughing. I don't know if you're laughing. I'm trying to make it sound funny, I guess. I laugh at it now, but when it happened, all right, I feel like I need an even more epic, scene. What's a more epic scene? Melisandre on the top of the castle, and what's the name? Grey worms looking. And Cersei's kill her, and her head gets chopped off. Sorry, these are Game of Thrones references, by the way. So I hope you're with it. That's how it felt. I felt like my head got chopped off. And then I'm outside of my body looking at my head getting chopped off. I was so upset. I actually almost cried then and there. I don't cry in public, by the way. I choose to do my crying indoors. But at that very moment, I stood up. I said to the staff, do you have CCTV? My phone just got stolen. This thing, and then I had to file a police report, all that. I was too busy to just doing all this stuff. In my mind, I already knew. I'm not going to get this back. I did my Find My Phone app thing. So yeah, you can't make that shit up. When it rains, it pours. I'm over it now, kind of. But basically, I was stuck on square one, and I was like, what can I do? Not having that phone detached me from social media, because this is too slow. I can't get on anything. And I was like, it just got me away from my phone. I've been really addicted to this thing. I've just stuck to my phone all the time, and I'm just always in my head. For the first time, I sort of had to just detach, allowed myself to be upset, angry, every emotion you could think of. And I said, what now? It's I continued to just get lower and lower, put myself down, question myself.
It's 2 o'clock.
Okay, it's 2 o'clock. Question my purpose. What am I doing? Losing that laptop felt like I lost. I know I'm trying to make it more than what it is, but I guess anyone that has ever poured their soul into something that they're passionate about might be able to understand. Or maybe I'm just soft. Am I soft? Am I just being a little bitch? I don't know. But that's my story of how I lost everything. And I decided, what can I do? What else? What can I do? And I told myself, nothing else I can do but just, as simple as it sounds, I know there's such a big hype getting towards this point of why I decided to start this podcast. But really all it was like, all right, there's nothing left. What can I do? What else is there? I lost the last vlogs that I was going to post to wrap up my YouTube and then start a new vlog for music. So all that was edited already, gone. I lost my footage of 1.5 years. So all the footage from when I first got to London, that's all gone. And I feel so far from music. I'm like, I don't know what to, I'm just not feeling it now. Is this a sign to not do music? Then I thought of the idea of like, you know what, I could still, those stories are never going to leave me. Like, I know visually I don't have them, but they're all here. And it's something I can always talk about. It felt right. Like, this is the avenue that I want to use. Like, start my own little podcast and be in touch with what's around me. And I've decided not to upgrade my phone. I've been getting a bit more mental clarity now that I don't have this attached to my hand all day. And yeah, that's pretty much why I decided, like, this. What else can I do? Like, this is it. This is something I can do, that I can make something out of myself. It's like therapy, because I probably should go to therapy, but this could be my therapy. Anyways, be right back. Here's another sponsor. Are you having a party anytime soon? Are you too cheap to buy drinks at the bar, like me? Well, if you are, I've got some tips for you guys. This is another tip from Vin, shoutouts. HotUkDeals.com. I think it's .com, but just Google HotUkDeals. It's pretty much like OzBargains, the website. But basically, what I've found here, or Vin has given me, is a spreadsheet that they have online that basically updates weekly and gives you the cheapest alcohol by supermarket. I haven't had a look at it myself, but if you are watching the YouTube or whatever, come take a look with me here. Let's have a look at this spreadsheet. Let's just see if that's good. What do we like to drink here? Okay, let's have a look. Cognac. What the hell? Hennessy, eh? Tesco, £27. It's pretty normal. Remy Martin, record low, £23. Oh, that must be what the record of it's ever been. All right, so right now I've discovered how to use this. So, for example, if you are in the market to buy some Martin Miller, whatever that is, your cheapest bet right now would go to Waitrose or Amazon. Amazing. Waitrose is usually the most expensive, but it's only £22. Tesco, 27. You'd think Tesco is the place to go, but it's £27. That's insane. What else have we got? Let's get a drink that we all know. Jameson Irish. Okay, so if you get a 32.14 litre, the cheapest right now, Tesco. See? Amazon. There you go. £22.5 if you go right now. So this updates weekly. I've had a quick look myself. I don't really drink much anymore, to be honest, so I'm probably not going to use this, but I know a lot of my friends are. This spreadsheet, I'm going to keep it on a link on my YouTube below. It's a complicated link. I can't say it on audio, so you'll need to just visit my socials to get it. Cool. Thanks, Vin. If you guys have any suggestions or any tips, if you're from London, please send me a voice message. You know where to find me. It's at anchor.fm/whereintheworld. Send a voice message or send me a DM, and I'd be happy to feature on my channel. This is a community based on trading information. So anything to do with travel, with flights, with discounts, just any life hacks, because, times are tough. London life is hard. It's an expensive city. And if you're traveling here, save a couple bucks. I know you like to splurge when you're on holiday, but London's expensive. Back to the show. Okay, so that's pretty much the end of the story of why I've decided to do this podcast. Sorry if I wind it down a bit. Talking about it actually got me really sad again. I started thinking about it. I don't have my phone. Bloody hell, that gypsy, bro. If you guys can continually pray for my laptop, if that ever comes back to me, I'll finish the vlog and do it justice. But other than that, this is my new venture. I'm going to be podcasting every week. Hoping to drop these every Monday. Do apologize that it's been a bit sloppy, but you know, as I get into the groove podcasting alone, I usually feel better if I have a co-host. So, you know, I'm open to anyone that wants to get involved. If you'd like to be a guest, if it feels like this is a platform you'd want to speak on, just remember it's travel related, expat, Aussies, Asians in London. That's where I'm niching it for now. But with anything, it might evolve into more than what it is. So, hope you enjoyed that first episode. The podcast isn't finished. This is going to be completely unrelated to travel now. I just wanted to go through a few things that I like, just because I can. So Drake just released a compilation album called Care Package. How fitting. Must be in line with his Take Care and all that type of shit. But yeah, Care Package. It's got a lot of songs there that he's previously released. I don't think any of it's new, but man, pretty good shit. And that new Chris Brown Drake video, it's so funny. I'm going to play a clip right here for you guys if you haven't seen it yet. But this is what makes me like this guy. I mean, like, he's dope as a rapper, right? Sorry about the rap talk if you're not really into this, but it's the end of the podcast. You can turn it off if you're not interested. But Drake is a funny character. Like, he makes fun of himself. So if you try to make fun of him, it just makes you look silly. Let's play this clip. Ooh. Something I would do. Drake. That's right, boy. Let's go. You know, dude that can make fun of himself. How you get your music so loud? It's like the speakers out here. Just play off my phone. Play off my phone. It's all good, right? Play off my phone. Yeah. Play off my phone, bro. I've watched this like 100 times. Off the phone. You know the code. You know the code. It's all good. I don't even need music. I don't need music. All right. This is how I dance, guys. Just remember, you requested this special request, live request 106 in Park Tank. You know what's coming out first? The snake. The snake is coming out first. Oh, Breezy, the snake is coming out. What's gonna happen? Ooh, excuse me. That's me, bro. That's me in the club. Oh, I'm 360 with this. I'm 360 with that right there. I wanted to get those track pants, by the way. Thinking of getting them. The Nike ones. What's up with that? Yeah, what's up with that? What's up, Black Crump? You want that West Coast? You want that West Coast? What's up? Yeah. Oh, your heart beating out your chest, you nervous? Oh, you nervous, boy? Straight Mortal Kombat moves, bro. Yeah. What's up? Anyway, that's pretty funny. Not sure if any movie buffs here, if anyone's as excited as me, but The Irishman, it's a movie by Martin Scorsese, going back to his roots. Now, this is going to be a Netflix special. It's obviously, look, as you can see here, it's from the Netflix account. Published 31st of July, 2019. So not long ago, I wanted to do a reaction video, so I figured I might just incorporate it into this podcast. I'm a big gangster flick fan, so I'm really excited about this. I heard about it, haven't heard much about it since like a year ago when I first heard about it, and now the trailer's here. I've been reading reviews and seeing pictures. This is gonna be my first time seeing the trailer. And just to let you know, just to give you a heads up, if you're into gangster films, this might be the epitome of it. It's got Pacino, De Niro, and Pesci. Pesci has come out of retirement. It's going to be the first time Joe Pesci and De Niro are going to be on screen ever since Goodfellas, which arguably might be my favorite gangster film of all time. And that was years ago. I can't remember exactly how long ago, but years ago. These guys are old. They're like OG Mafia now. I'm just going to watch it. I might go quiet because when I watch, I don't do those extra reactions like people do on YouTube. I'm actually watching, so let's see what happens.
Hello?
This is the biggest budget film, by the way, Scorsese's ever done. I'll tell you why after.
That kid I was talking to you about here, I'm going to put him on the phone and let you talk to him, okay?
Hello? Is that Frank? Yes. Hi, Frank. This is Jimmy Hoffa.
Damn.
Glad to meet you. Glad to meet you, too, even if it's over the phone. Our friend speaks very
The
highly.
soundtrack sounds good.
Thank you.
That's Pesci, bro.
Only 3 people in the world have one of these. And only one of them is Irish.
I heard you paint houses.
The Irishman. Oh man, these guys are so gangster, bro.
Yes, I do, sir.
Where are you going?
Going to work. Well, you know, there's a situation going on now, Frank. Big business and the government, they're trying to pull us down.
You might be demonstrating a failure to show appreciation.
Damn, Pesci's aged, bro.
Things they don't know, I know.
You can't miss the big picture.
Sooner or later. Get the gun out of his hand! Everybody put here as a date when he's gonna go. Do you want to be a part of this fight? Would you like to be a part of this history? Yes, I would. Whatever you need me to do, I'm available.
Damn. Oh, there's more.
He likes the tough, don't he?
De Niro. See? See? Scorsese. Is it finished? I think that's it. Let me tell you why it's the most expensive Scorsese film. There's so much CGI in this. And I'm not talking like Avengers, Transformers CGI. It's not going to be a giant spaceship. But CGI used to make De Niro look like he's 30. Because obviously he's older. Apparently that technology is expensive as shit. So, yeah. It's going to have a very small film debut. Because it's Netflix. It's going to be in cinemas for a short run, just so it can compete with in the Oscars, because that's one of the one of the things to qualify to be able to be nominated. But it's a Netflix release. At first, when I heard it was a Netflix release ages ago, I was like, what does that mean? Does that mean it's a shit movie? It's gonna be like low budget? But now realizing it's the highest budget, and maybe this is the way the movie world's going now. Everything's gonna debut on Netflix same time as movies. I don't know. I'm just saying. But that looks really cool. So happy to see them on the screen. Whew, got shivers. That's it. That's all for the podcast. Like I said, follow me on all my socials if you can. Where in the World podcast is on my Instagram. And if you go to Anchor, it's Where in the World. Not podcast. Where in the World. Anchor.fm/Where in the World. Send me a voice message. I'm not holding my breath, but maybe one of you will send one, and it'll be really fun. It'll be in the next episode. The main platforms will always be the Spotify, Apple Podcast, YouTube. Check out my socials. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys are well. It could always be worse.